Hello, my name is Doug Wilson with the City of Cedar Rapids. I'm the Paving for Progress Program Manager, and we're here to talk to you today about an upcoming project on C Street Southwest between Bowling Street and Handley Drive. Dave Panos with Shive Hattery is our design engineer and will be walking you through the details of the project. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and I hope we answer all your questions.
Hello, my name is Dave Panos. I'm with Shive Hattery in Cedar Rapids. I'm here to provide some further information on this Paving for Progress project and hope to provide additional information for your use.
During the video today, we're going to provide you an overview of the Paving for Progress program, some details related to the project we're talking about today and how long it's going to take and when it will be constructed and how to contact us. So, road construction, it's inconvenient, noisy, necessary, but always very necessary. During this project, you will be inconvenienced some if you live in the area or are driving through the area. We do our best on every project to be sure that we accommodate residents' needs and the traveling public's needs while trying to get the project done as efficiently and effectively as possible. So what is Paving for Progress? Paving for Progress is a strategic data-driven plan where we get the condition of every street in the city every 2 years. We evaluate that data and put together a plan based on that information. We don't do just the bad roads. We also do some streets that, because they need work but not complete replacement, we'd extend the life of the street and more effectively spend your city dollars. The program is designed so that we stop the deterioration of our roadways where they are and improve overall during the time we have this funding available. And the local option sales tax is a very good funding source for us here at the city. Our community is lucky that we have this. It's unusual here in the state of Iowa to have local option sales tax for repairing our roads. But a good thing about it is it's not all on the property owners of Cedar Rapids to pay for replacing and fixing our roads. By utilizing the local option sales tax, we have the opportunity to have people help pay for our streets who don't live in Cedar Rapids but come into Cedar Rapids to shop and use our streets. So it's a more equitable way to pay for our improvements. Just to give you an idea of the impact of Paving for Progress over the years, before we had Paving for Progress, we invested about $5.5 million annually in our streets with city funds. Now we invest $18.5 million annually, and in the past 7 years, we've had $116 million that we've invested in the streets versus the previous 10 years where we invested about $55 million in city funds. So we've been able to make great progress on our streets and hope to continue this into the future. Another good thing about the Paving for Progress program is we get a pay-as-you-go now. We get that sales tax revenue that comes in, we can pay our bills with that versus what we had in place before, which was selling bonds, which bonds are just like a loan and they incur interest. So we avoid that interest payment by having the pay-as-you-go method. And we're also able to make more permanent repairs because of the level of funding that we have now, whereas in the past, we would have to do a lot more maintenance and work on streets just to get them by a little bit longer. So far, during the 7 years of the program, we've improved over 65 miles of streets, done over 200 projects. As I said, $116 million invested. And prior to Paving for Progress, most of the money was spent on our most heavily used roads because we had limited funding. So now we are focusing quite a number of projects in our residential areas that had deteriorated significantly. So 66% of the projects so far are in our residential areas. This is a map of where we've done projects with Paving for Progress between 2014 and 2020. The green dots show where we've completed a project and the orange show where we are doing projects this year and next. As you can see, we've worked throughout the city trying to do our best to improve the overall roadway condition here in Cedar Rapids. So where are we right now in the life of a project? Right now, we're between the concept and refinement of plan. We come to you now to talk about the project so we can get feedback on things that you're concerned about, improvements that you would like to see, and answer your questions. We will not go on with the plans until we try to incorporate as many of your concerns or address as many of your concerns as possible. And with that, we'll pass it on.
Today, I'll be talking with you about this Paving for Progress project from C Street, from Bowling Street to Handley Drive. We're intending to provide some information for residents that live within this corridor, so they have some familiarity with the work that is occurring. And in general, I'd like to talk about improvements that we're planning to install within phasing, and also talk a little bit further about staging and how it may impact you as a resident that may live within this vicinity of this project, or may be traveling through the area. So the improvements with this project will include a variety of improvements along the corridor. This project will include asphalt pavement resurfacing. So in general, this work will include installation of an asphalt layer over the existing concrete. We are also including some pavement reconstruction, which will include full reconstruction and also some pavement patching within the corridor. Water main installation will be included as a part of the installation of this project, which will replace old water main. Water main replacement will provide better serviceability for residents within the corridor. Storm sewer improvements are included in the improvement project. Storm sewer updates will be added to improve drainage within certain segments of the corridor. And as we've indicated prior, this project will include a complete sidewalk segmentation from Bowling Street to Handley Drive. And with this installation, our goal is to provide a complete ADA accessible route from Bowling to Handley Drive. And the work will include new ADA compliant curb ramps at each intersection. Moving forward on this, the time frame for this project includes completion of design in the fall of 2020. Upon completion of the design, the city is anticipating bidding this project in the winter 2020 and 2021. After receiving bids and awarding the contract, we will begin construction tentatively in April of 2021, with an anticipated substantial completion of this project in November of 2021. I'd like to talk a little bit about our construction staging and phasing on this project. The phasing and staging is set up such that we are allowing or providing safe operations for the contractor during the work. We want to control operations to provide a safe environment for workers and for the general public that may be traveling either through the corridor or in the vicinity of the work. The phasing for this project will include 4 different phases. Phase 1 will begin and consist of work between Bowling Street and Hawthorne Drive. Phase 2 will consist of work between Hawthorne Drive and Fruitland Boulevard. Phase 3 will consist of work generally at Wilson Avenue. And Phase 4 will conclude with work from Wilson Avenue to Handley Drive. Now I'll talk a little bit further about construction staging and really the work that will be occurring at each of these phases. Phase 1 generally will consist of work from Bowling to Hawthorne Drive. Phase 1 operations will include reconstruction of the intersection at 22nd Avenue. During this work, a full closure will occur directly at that intersection. However, access will need to be maintained for residents that live along 22nd Avenue. Moving further along Phase 1, upon the completion of the initial phase at the 22nd Avenue intersection, we will be installing road closed to through traffic signs just south of 22nd and just south of Hawthorne Drive. During this operation, through traffic will be detoured, and however, we still will maintain travel for residents that live directly in the vicinity of the project. During this work, we are planning to reconstruct the intersections of Rapids and Hawthorne. And during these operations, northbound travel on Rapids and Hawthorne will be prohibited. Utility improvements will include water main installation along the south side of C Street. And with the full reconstruction of the intersections, we are installing ADA compliant curb ramps at each of the intersections. And with the segment, we are also including installation of a new sidewalk segment from just north of Rapids to just north of Hawthorne Avenue to complete segmentation of sidewalk in this area. Upon the completion of phase one of the project, we will be moving into phase two, which will consist of work from Hawthorne to Fruitland. During these operations, the road will be closed to through traffic from Hawthorne to Fruitland. The work generally consists within this area of pavement patching. So as patching operations are occurring, there will be reduced lanes or some lane redirection. However, local access will be provided to residents within this area. Also, within this work, the reconstruction of Lauren, Deborah, and Fruitland will occur. So traffic will be prohibited northbound on each of those segments. Utility improvements during this segment will include new water main installation along C Street, along the south side of C Street, and also the installation of new sewer to replace a segment of Orangeburg that currently exists. I'd like to talk a little bit about stages 1 and 2 detours. With each of those stages, we will need to detour traffic for north and southbound through travel along C Street. Traffic will be detoured to Bowling Street and Wilson Avenue during these 2 stages. However, during this detour, local access will be allowed to residents that live within these project stages. Upon the completion of phase 2, we will resume phase 3 of the improvement project, which will include work directly at Wilson Avenue and C Street. This portion of the project will include a full reconstruction of Wilson Avenue and C Street intersection. The work will require the maintenance of access to Tanager Place. That work will be staged and phased such that access is allowed or provided. This work also includes installation of new sidewalk along the north side of C Street and allows for a crossing to the south side of C Street. The fourth and final phase of the project will include phase 4, which consists of work from Wilson to Handley. This work generally consists of new sidewalk installation along the south side of C Street. During this operation, C Street will become a one-way traveled lane, northbound only. Public traveling through the area, traveling southbound, will be rerouted to Bowling and 41st. The detour route for this project is as follows. For phase 3, again, this operation consists of work directly at Wilson Avenue. And during this work, we will require a full closure at Wilson Avenue, and traffic will be detoured during phase 3 to 41st Avenue and Bowling Street. And then during phase 4 operations, which includes sidewalk installation along the south side of C Street from Handley to Wilson, northbound travel along C Street will be allowed through the corridor. However, southbound travel will be detoured to Bowling and 41st Avenue. I'd like to touch on a few common resident concerns that we hear during construction projects. Driveway access will be generally provided. However, there will be times when, at such times during reconstruction of aprons and approaches, that we will need to close driveway access points down for a short duration of 3 to 5 days. During the project, water service will be disrupted at times during the installation of new service connections. Upon the completion of the new water main, there will be a time that we will need to transfer over old services to the new water main, and notification will be provided for residents prior to these disruptions so that residents can plan accordingly. During this work, intersection closures will occur, specifically at each of the intersections that enter from the south side of C Street, as indicated in the staging. During these closures, access northbound along those roadway routes will be prohibited to C Street. And during this work, mail delivery and waste removal services will be maintained by the contractor.
Dave, thank you for that great presentation on the upcoming project on C Street. Right now, I'm going to talk to you about special assessments. Special assessments are something we ask area residents to pay as part of some of the improvements on the project. We will be assessing for some sidewalk improvements, Orangeburg sanitary sewer service replacements, and paving of an unpaved driveway. You should have received a letter if you're going to be assessed at or after November 30th. Please keep in mind, no money is due at this time. Wouldn't expect the final assessment to be issued until sometime in 2022. We do have a public hearing this Tuesday on December 15th with the council if you care to comment. And also, do not hesitate to contact us if you have questions. You can contact us via phone, email, or request a Zoom call. You can also leave feedback online at www.cityofcedarrapids.com/virtual public works. We would like to have feedback and comments by January 30th, if that is possible. If you have more interest in the Paving for Progress program, you can take a look at our website at www.cityofcedarrapids.com/paving-for-progress. And of course, our project manager for this is Karen Key, and she can be reached at 319-286-5847. Thank you again for taking the time to watch this video, and we look forward to hearing from you.